Sustainability is crucial for every company trying to get into or who are already in the big leagues. Just any company trying to achieve success. This is most prominent in today's world as consumers in this society are shifting towards more sustainable products and more sustainable companies in order to support them and their operations instead of other companies which may be neglecting their duties as large financial institutions in this society, such as not being as sustainable. From spending the extra dollar to buy metal straws and supporting on other non-profit organizations in order to aid global warming, consumers are showing their passion for sustainability in these recent years. This is why it is crucial that FTQ chases this trend and continues competing with these other sustainable companies or even gaining the competitive edge over companies which may not be as sustainable. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rudy Rodriguez, and this is how FTQ will exactly do this and create this strategy to becoming a very sustainable company. Now, the main topics we will be discussing today will consist of the main concern and mandate, the solution, moving on to the implementation and the budget, finally ending it off with the conclusion. Now, for the main concern and the mandate, it is crucial that we take a look at the past recent years and how it has affected this company and industry at hand. Now, climate change continues to be a high interest of this society, which includes our consumers, or FTQ's consumers in this scenario. Now, with the society becoming more increasingly economically friendly, these companies need to follow these societal standards in order to stay with these other companies competing in a sustainability field and not get left behind and decrease in our revenues in order to become a successful company. Now, this leaves us with a mandate of developing a strategy to increase sustainability through a portfolio decarbonization and partners company support plan. This is to strategically increase our support and our sustainability throughout the future and right now. Now, moving on to the solution, the main solution consists of developing an 8-year internal strategic investment portfolio decarbonization plan along with a partner company support plan. Now, this breaks off into 3 units: the internal strategic portfolio decarbonization plan, the company support plan, and finally the internal communication plan. The decarbonization plan will consist of our investments and our initiatives in our portfolio and sustainability fields. Now, these main topics will be decreasing investments into transportation and industrial companies, as these are the main emissions in Quebec, where the company operates. Moving on, they should increase investments into companies specialized in renewable energy to support the sustainability, and they will do this through their portfolio investment shifts from their decrease in investments from transportation and industrial companies into these renewable, sustainable companies, and an allocated budget for a company of their choice to support. Now, moving on to the company support plan, the company should aim to monitor and improve the efficiency of the company with these new initiatives in place. Now, this includes the company as a whole along with the initiatives, as implementing a new project at hand brings along changes in the company structure of how they work depending on how crucial the project needs its resources. Now, there will be an increased amount of HR personal assistance throughout this, as this early integration will be a bit bumpy, as it is probably going to be a bit fast due to this short-term plan implementation strategy. But then again, with this increased amount of HR personal assistance, there should not be any issues at hand. Moving on to the internal communication plan, They should plan to create an annual sustainability conference for stakeholders. This should be annual or semi-annual, most likely semi-annual, to just catch up on stakeholders, see how they're doing in their operations and sustainability fields, most likely with our investment managers that we do business with. This annual, semi-annual conference will allow us to portray our objectives onto our business partners and see where they stand on our objectives, and if they have any sort of feedback that we can take at hand, we will take this at this conference. Moreover, to increase the effectiveness of pushing on our sustainable vision onto our business partners, we will have one-on-one meetings with investment managers to monitor and discuss specifics. Now, the key takeaway of this is to create a detailed strategy to support the sustainability in the company and create a sustainability improvement plan. Now, moving on to the implementation. The short term will consist of the first 1 to 2 years. This short term just consists of the startup, which will inform stakeholders about the upcoming projects, begin determining potential prospects in targeted sectors to decrease and increase investments in, and determining appropriate portfolio weighting for companies. Now, when informing stakeholders for these projects, it is very brief, just a quick email will do. And just if they have any questions, make sure to follow up with them, make sure they're all clear on the specifics at hand. When determining the potential prospects in targeted sectors, it is crucial we look at sustainable companies and companies that align with our portfolio goals, whether it is slow growth, fast growth, or just something in between. We want to make sure that it aligns with our stakeholders' goals, and especially ours. Now, determining the appropriate portfolio weighting for the companies. This is after we have determined the companies. So determining the portfolio weighting, this is crucial to make sure that our portfolio isn't too risky and aligns with our goals. Moving on to the medium term, the 3 to 5 years, we can begin implementing selected companies into our portfolio and testing them out, seeing how they stand, and again monitoring portfolio performance just to see exactly how they're performing, if they're up to standards, if they're subpar, just making sure everything is right. Now, we will host the first sustainability conference. This is just to get the ball rolling and the word of mouth spreading. On our promotion, we should begin promoting this event and garnering public recognition for its awards. This is to get our business partners and whoever is attending this conference, as we will be handing awards out at these conferences to the most sustainable companies, maybe making the most innovative ways to be sustainable. A bunch of awards will be giving out, and hopefully we will garner a nice recognition from the public, so we can get these business partners and everyone attending attracted to the idea of coming to these events. And most importantly, putting their initiatives into creating sustainable companies. Now, the key takeaway of this will be, again, to reiterate, the short term will consist of the setup of the plan, of the strategic plan for sustainability, whereas the medium term portrays its implementation. Now, when discussing the long term, this will consist of this years 6 to 8. Years 6 to 7, these years will be dedicated to process improvement, just to ensure everything is working smoothly, to again ensure portfolio and other initiatives are working as intended, and if not, make necessary adjustments. So as I mentioned before, we will be it should be monitored that how our portfolio is working, just making sure everything aligns with our goals, and making sure there's no conflicts with anything going on with our strategic placements of our initiatives. Moving on, once everything is running smoothly, we have pretty much polished that our initiatives, we should begin determining other initiatives or alternatives to increase the sustainability of the company. This can range from make shifting all our energy to renewable sources if we have not by then, and so on. By year 8, we should continue to monitor, improve, and ensure the effectiveness of our strategy, just to continue with our vision of becoming a very sustainable company, as it is not only important to do it in the moment, but also in the future, and continue to ensure to do so. And then, to add on to this, we'll commence the planning of more sustainable initiatives that we have determined to be the most successful. The key takeaway of this is that the long term is focused on monitoring and improving where needed, and ensuring the continuation of the strive to sustainability that we have envisioned for the company. Now, moving on to the budget, this is where it makes or breaks for a lot of individuals. So there will be, as we've discussed, 3 components of the strategic plan: the decarbonization plan, company support plan, and the internal communication plan. Now, we will be discussing the main costs. The shifts in investments are not a direct cost in the portfolio decarbonization plan, as we will just be shifting the investment from industrial and transportation companies over to more sustainable companies such as renewable energies. But then again, the shifts and gains, as they are not mirrored from one company to the next, they could have negative effects on the company's portfolio revenues, which should just be monitored and improved in the future, as we have discussed in our implementation plan. Moving over, we have the increased investments in the renewable energy companies. We will begin with one company with an allocated budget of $268,000, just to have a nice allocated budget for a company that's just starting up in the renewable energy field, as we know that this is a very expensive industry. We want to make sure that we have enough allocated for just one company, as it could have been a donation to multiple. We want to make sure we actually make an impact for this company. Moving on to the company support plan, increase man hours for the new projects to monitor, improve, and ensure the smoothness of the operations. It is expected to have 32 hours a week at $27 an hour. This will be the resources needed to be allocated towards this, which comes up to an 8-year expense of $360,000. Additionally, there's an increase in man hours for the integration. As we have discussed before, the increase in HR man hours will be 2 hours a day at $22 an hour, which would come up to $11,440 for the 8 years. Now, moving on to the internal communication plan, the semi-annual sustainability conference will be $120,000 every year for these 3 years. So in total, $360,000 in expense. And to move on, the one-on-one meetings will just be an extensive working hours. So whichever one of our executives go on to do these one-on-one meetings, they would just come out of their hours. Now, to end it off with a conclusion, we aim to improve the sustainability through FTQ through various sustainability initiatives. This comes through a strategic investment portfolio decarbonization plan, our increased investments in renewable energy companies, and more to come in the future. Ensure effectiveness and efficiency of established initiatives. Through teams focused on monitoring and improving these projects, we will ensure the effectiveness of these established initiatives. And to guarantee the continuation of a sustainable economy, motivating investment managers and stakeholders to be increasingly sustainable through our semi-annual conference and one-on-one meetings. Now, looking at our objectives, promote energy efficiency in equipment, infrastructure, and buildings. We have done this through our initiatives, as we will promote the energy efficiency in our buildings through renewable energy, as we aim to create a partnership with this renewable company that we are going to invest in. Now, facilitating the transition to a circular economy, we are shifting our business partners to a more sustainable economy through our one-on-ones and our sustainability conferences. accelerating the use of clean energy in transportation, heating systems, and industrial processes. We aim to do this through our renewable energy investments, as we have discussed earlier. And finally, the promotion of clean fuel production and clean energy distribution. This again will be our shifts in portfolio weights and just our increased investments in sustainability. Thank you for listening to me today. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.